Good morning, everyone. How are you? How are you?
We're fine. Well, I am.
Graham, I'm trying to mute you. So don't mute yourself. Okay. Don't unmute yourself.
The cousin ki samdi sajeti jidang chanju semgi penyu sheba penyu geba sambala shi se. The di kong la cousin nga zu drode di the zu di ani karso da chanju semgi ani ten la ya luden da semding yubi nani zu luden gi on cheni sungu yoris ro that luden di ta kazi shusamba dire that dindi gi luden khabar chen di ani ta nganzola ya ro ngaranzola ya ta yoba chik chagyanza ani 고급 상부 쉬우치 여버디 안 소리 토니 아니 루덴 디 토라야 디 띵라야 따지 아니 랭규기 지 노브다 마소나 약슈디 아니 잔주고 셈으로 뭐지 차고한자 아니 잔주고 셈으로 뭐치디 다 간다지레 잔주 셈으로 뭐치디 연나 아니 케벤 카리어레 맨나 경 카르라그레 세 아니 단단님부디 아니 까미티가나야 방이 차고 바고레스 데이터 텔라야 다 연대원 페이어 카리어레스 라운디 아니 페이어디다 아니 순고레스라.
So we started to look at the way to extract the essence of a human body with freedoms and opportunities. And we looked at the outline, looking at a few points pertaining to the way that we take the essence and so forth. So the text explained mainly the physical support for developing the mind of enlightenment in mentioning a precious human body with freedoms and opportunities. We have two supports for the development of bodhicitta. We have a mental support and physical support. The main thing that the text mentioned here is the physical support, the body, which is very special. And we are fortunate to have that physical support for the development of bodhicitta. So the best thing that we can do on that basis, having that physical support, is to take up the mind of enlightenment. So what is it? What is the mind of enlightenment? What are the benefits in taking it up, and what are the drawbacks of not doing so? So this is something that we need to start to look at. What's the benefits that we get from the development of bodhicitta? And this is where we're going to pick up from today.
Chanjus gi semgi peyo sheba tang chanju gi sem ngoswa tela peyo tedan juwi gyunse chanju gi sem gombe kansan la teba wos tangbo chanju gi semgi peyo sheba la sum digba tadan jomshe gewa tada drum liba chanju gi sem yana ge tsam ni pe ani kebar chimbu de den deba min da ten kebar je toba ani midjo jing baina min tama bat pen ta ngata wji ba ne chanchu sem ke samni ne ani namgyu da mandawi ge chi tamchi ge ani game chisa da yimi chisa yud cherde ba tin se wata ani pay pe shebos.
So in looking at a section that we will begin with today, let's look at Geshe Rinpoche's commentary. We are going to look at we'll look at the advice that is suitable to abandon negativity and accomplish virtue. And today we're going to begin with contemplating extensively the benefits of the mind of enlightenment. This is a section in page 20 in our commentary. So there are 4 points to the contemplation, the extensive contemplation of the benefits of bodhicitta. So we're going to look at explaining the benefits of bodhicitta, then identifying the nature of bodhicitta, the reason why it has these benefits in praising the person that meditates on bodhicitta. Let's begin with explaining the benefits of bodhicitta, which has 3 points. It has the power to destroy all negativity and accomplish all virtues. One will become special in name and meaning. The point that says that one will become special in name and meaning would mean that once you develop bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, you become someone that everyone appreciates or hold in high esteem because you have developed bodhicitta. That's the meaning of having a special name and meaning. Then explaining the benefits with example. So let's look at the first point, which is it has the power to destroy all negativity and accomplish all virtues.
담보 대바 타단 정신 개와 타다 좀 리발라 숨스 대바 첨분 정바다 개와 촉좀 리바 아 제대로 대비 된좀 리바스 다 담보 대바 첨분 정바네 근데 그 말로서 되서 대바 톱친 신도 메세바 된 조비 잔주 셈바 게젠 관계 쓰긴 내번 교르스 자와
So, looking at the text, the power to destroy all negativity and accomplish all virtues is divided into 3 points. Destroying great negativity, it can make supreme happiness a reality, and it can accomplish one's wishes. Now, with destroying great negativity, the last 3 lines in verse 6 read, "And powerful negativity dreadful." How can this be overcome by other virtue that is not the mind of enlightenment?
데르다 디 카르송고르스람 자위기다 제베나로라다 된거리 이느야 아니 딕바톱 친신도 메세바 베다지 아니 까와 탐메바네 안 단다 바르도다지 간주 딕바사발라 치당게 탐메바르와스 디나니다지 아니 파마세발라 소바 레겐델라 로바타발라 소베 아니 딕바신도 톱치 로 아니 세편에 따지 나좀 문타메 발이야 조고에 디바침부 슈지 사슴바리 담마부지기 사심바리 마음발에 사원기 따 디바마부 슈지 따 간줄 여러와스 딘티기 디바디 쳇탄 페나 아니 닌종기 삼바 디심비 아니 다메바 토베 따와 지 겨름 콤발레 때니 디바티기 점바 요레스 라 잔주고 셈 마키비 칸살레 디바티기 밤바 타바 토바 쌈다 요르데이네야 아니 잔주고 셈디 아니 딘디기 지 까와망불레야 베준치 먹고 잔주고 셈 끼점님이 아니 디바티 에페 시기넨로야 로 끼점님이 시기넨로야 아니 지 시기넨 버sam도 마세 아니 하리야 딘디 키야기다 균체로 소바 딘디기 아니 개와 초도 개와디 아니 잔주기 셈만 발레시 가야요 말레스
We have done so many negative actions since time without beginning and up until now. The negative actions that we have created are countless. Actions such as killing our own mother and father, having wrong views with respect to karma and so forth. Since time without beginning, we have been accumulating them. We have accumulated them before. We are accumulating them at the present, and we will still continue to accumulate them in the future. So there are so many of them. Should we develop the determination to live cyclic existence combined with the realization of selflessness over time, over a long time, we will be able to eliminate those negativities. We'll be able to abandon them. We'll be able to destroy them. We'll be able to attain a state of liberation if we combine renunciation or the determination to live cyclic existence with the realization of selflessness. But it will take us many eons. With the mind of enlightenment, we can make it quicker. We can make it in a brief span of time. In that sense, it outshines all other abilities or virtues. It can cut the continuity of such negative actions, and it is regarded as that very strong, powerful virtue.
Gewajan Kangi Kyan, the Sirginians Laundi, Pena Sirginians Laundi, Nanzu Pena, any Lokuela Soba, Dromiguela Soba D, and G any Nagonda Nimamas Salaya, with Chendoka shoot, Sendoka shoot, Yungoros. Inaya Nimigi recepts in the Sharondi, but the Tamalo. Yata Tonda Mambuya in the Yambe, Sigi nature, and never the Chudrach. Chagdos, Dinang Shingi, any Chanju Sem Togi, any Divat Samalo, any Sigi Nentumiji, any Gewaji Kangi, Mutuwadi, and Nibadi, Chanju Sem Yores.
So thinking about a situation when you find yourself completely in the dark. So you might be enveloped by thick darkness. It might be the thick darkness of night, or finding yourself in a dark room, and there might be a flash of lightning in the sky. There might be kind of a brief switching on of the power, and it has the power to eliminate the darkness. But if the sun shines, it has a much greater ability to dispel darkness. So hundreds or thousands of times greater than just switching on the light and the light. So similarly, although there are means for eliminating negativity, the mind of enlightenment outshines all of them. It outshines all of them in its ability to eliminate negative actions.
Tireda di kandas chagabares, ra penangan sugi new gi sawa mariba mari wigi nimbo ene chi mugi nimbo di an dame ba tobi lore was ta di gi lagaji ani chanju gusem ya tinti gi ani karso da peyal lab chewadi kandaji toni chombares diaji shingo da zara kandaji toni chombares la di dinji gi sem rumbuchi thi da Jonsi Gyodan Sem Korangi Ngu Migyu and Chik Migbala Soba and Sem Shenda Zawin the Mandraviki Chik Pusum Soba Gachewa Lavcheva Shujinza and Semdi and Topchin Chavares.
So in what way the mind of enlightenment can outshine all other negativities? In what way does it do it? How is it possible? After all, considering that the root of all afflictive states of mind is ignorance, and what antidotes ignorance of grasping at the self is the realization of selflessness, we are here saying that even higher than that or better than that, we have the mind of enlightenment for eliminating negativity. So we need to know in what way it is greater than other virtues. This precious mind, the mind of enlightenment, is greater than others when you look at it from different perspectives. You can look at it from the perspective of the causes giving rise to the mind of enlightenment. You can look at it from the viewpoint of the nature or the essence of the mind of enlightenment, or from the viewpoint of what it observes, what the object of observation is of the mind of enlightenment, what the goal is of the mind of enlightenment. So from different perspectives, when you investigate the mind of enlightenment, you can see that it is so much more extensive, so much broader than all other virtue.
Tire pena gyu khandajil deni chong zawita manzu dinima yungure ra inaya ko pheyo shemi kabdula ya ji pheyo di ani kabdula ya ngosin tuwa ji yongbaina ani di nyembala ya gyun kyani nyensam chebala ya zhuwa yungu yuanza and the Kabdula Shugoya Chagdos, Pena Chanjugu Sem Gudi, and the Zawa Kandajil Dengres Laundi, Zawa Ninji Chimbal Dengo das, Zawa Ninji Chimbumena, Chanjugu Sem di, Zawa Nini Yomusiwach, Yomutuach, and the good Indijimena Yomutuach. That's Zawa Ninji Chimbos Laundi, Nanzu Gulaya, Chetangi, and Zevi, any Rik Mambuch, 아니 요르와스 이나야 ngan주규기 제와디 제와 초그리와 제와 초그리와 짬마세 제와디 에기 갈수와다지 넘버더디 에 응원되기 로직이 신대하기 아니 제와딘리치 로 랑기 응원되지 랑기 랑된지기 이지기 로직이 신대비 제와지마도 아니 제와 헤메바지 아니 차고 말았어 and that di itself di and torchocho kansan susu ni ramdyen ji gi chede ta ji ani tsewa kyang itself di shole ya rangi tenle rangi unde tele ya teschi kasota tobo royal sobata mandi bachona tsewa lamsa thodu dos ro tinza rang ginzen du cheni ewi tsewa chogri wares tsewa di that's one Marcelan love showers. Chanjuk sim Zawal Kiwi, Zawan Hinji Chimosadi, any Shane Vincent Chin. Then Shans of Mayimba, Namgita the name, Simja Tamjigi, any Pilaya, Mini, any Zawadi, Susu Jensen Chimenza, Kadu and told them about Gurami Zawaj, but Dinji Zawajle, Denny, Chanjuk sim and Gigo waters.
So, for example, looking at the mind of enlightenment from the viewpoint of the causes giving rise to the mind of enlightenment, it will come up in the commentary, but it's good to mention it now. If we can hone down on the things that make the mind of enlightenment be so incredible, we'll become more enthused, more inspired to find out about the development of bodhicitta. So, from the point of view of the causes that give rise to the mind of enlightenment, the cause is great compassionate love. Right? Great compassion is the root cause for bodhicitta. Without great compassion, great compassionate love, the mind of enlightenment will not arise. It is impossible to have bodhicitta without great compassionate love. So, when we start to look at great compassionate love and what we have currently in the mind stream, we can recognize that we have some degree of loving concern to others already present in our mind stream. There are different types of loving concern, right? A sense of care for others. So we already have a certain degree of that in our mind stream, but it is still partial. When we look at the aspect of the type of loving concern that we have for others that is currently present in our mind stream, we can recognize how it is not partial, it is not impartial, it is partial because it has this aspect of still wanting to get something out of that with a certain type of wish. We have a certain concern for others, but we also seek through that our own benefit, our own purpose. And when the love that we have to others is affected by the concern for our own welfare, it is enough for something slight to happen, something that we disagree with, something that we find not unpleasant for us, for that love to go away. So the love that we have now to others is not a pure one. It is a tainted type of love. It is together with stains. It is not stainless. In that sense, Geshe said that since it is not stainless, in some sense, we can say that it is not a genuine sense of love and concern to others. But with great compassionate love, which is the root cause for the mind of enlightenment, we do not take ourselves as the reason, in a sense that it is not involved with our own concern for our own interests. We develop great compassionate love, taking others as a reason for that, right? So our orientation is not ourselves, our orientation is others. We focus on all other sentient beings, and we use them as a reason for developing a great compassionate love to them. And because we use others as a reason, on account of others, we develop a sense of great compassionate love. It cannot be overcome.
아니 규틴디질 땡기연자 아니 미바디 아니 랑 찍고 마이바 아니 간접이 심자 탐jel이야 미 딩인기 미바 야체와 아니 넘버디 아니 심전 탐지 동안을 차비체도 아니 교육권세 연된 군딩기 아니 산지 공부 되는 게 딩인기 어셈 들리지 차고 그랬어 진짜 다 아니 간지 톤 라 규ген 관계 톤배 아니 기빌로 탐질 캐드 봐봐지 차건자 아니 디난신지 다 요마레스 라 요마레스 딜하즈미 요마레스.
So that's looking at it from the viewpoint of the cause, looking at it from the viewpoint of the object of observation. The mind of enlightenment observes all sentient, not only ourselves, but all sentient beings that extend to the reaches of space. So from the viewpoint of what the mind of enlightenment observes, its object of observation, it is extensive. Looking at it from the viewpoint of the aspect of the mind of enlightenment is involved with wishing to liberate sentient beings from suffering, for the sake of liberating sentient beings from suffering. For that end, there is the wish to attain the state of Buddhahood, a state in which one is free from all faults and has developed all perfect qualities. So in whatever way you look at the mind of enlightenment, you can assess the extensiveness of the mind of enlightenment. In that sense, it surpasses all other causes and conditions. Whatever other causes and conditions you could look at, the mind of enlightenment will surpass them in terms of the virtue that it brings about.
데디 잠발라 미유드 야춘주 쇼치 미유드 춘주 쇼치 간지 쿠교 소르지 반준 데베 소르지 차가도 왔어 디차온디기 아니 통자 퇴야 로트 총을 줘야디 딱고 무여련도 왔어 딘자 잔주고 샘디 딜리 도체니 아니 카팔로친 아니 참미기 되는 상황디 랑신기 야침부 랑신기 야침부지 그 용도 왔어. 이제 딘디기 상로 용이 미디 가드는 로드 첨부 뽑아 첨부 탐지 드루퉁인지 차고레스.
So currently our mind is turned inwardly. It is turned inwardly, and because of that it is focused on something that is quite small or quite narrow. It has such a small perspective or short perspective because it is turned inwardly and not turned upwardly. But the mind of enlightenment is opposite to that. Rather than being focused only on ourselves, it is focused away from ourselves. It is focused on others. And because of that, it is naturally vast. It is naturally extensive. And because it is naturally vast and extensive, we have a greater sense of courage, a greater sense of determination. We can accomplish everything because of that.
Tenza chanju semdi ta zodi semjan tamji gi pendi dribi chedo. Semjan tamja la ya pendo yongi gi chedo ane rangi ke pongmar dungi ki rangi ke di sabar dungi ki semji chagdo was. Tenza dinti ane lotab yongi gi kansa delaya misunre chigi kyen jawayna ga mato 아니 콘로 사야를 소바다 아니 마가와를 소바 세베 도야를 소바디 자원이니 메바디 샘코랑 미유디 젠란 펜디 드려야지도 랑기 꽌뽕 되고자 가주스기 꽌 쓰바이나 꽌드 원즈 두거리 꽌드 방야라야 트럭스 드고연자 아니 수칸라야 마가와 차고 오면 왔어 남주 랑기 체도 미신라야 꽌잡기 되고자 미신기 쯧견 쯧온디 lamsam magawa chaya kondro sayala soba ani tichigora sra
The main thing with the mind of enlightenment is that it seeks it wishes for joy and benefit for other sentient beings, for the benefit of others. So if the mind is intent of the benefit of others, if we're going to eliminate the faults that we have, we should be happy about it, right? So if we are intent on the benefit of others, if we eliminate our own faults, we should be happy with that. But then when someone criticizes us, when they point out our faults, with the mind of enlightenment, we should actually be happy about it. We should be happy. We should still be joyful. We should not lose heart, because to be of benefit to others will also entail eliminating your own faults. So if someone is pointing out your faults, then you shouldn't be unhappy with them. You should still have a sense of concern, a sense of love to others. But we often behave in a way that is opposite to that, right? When someone criticizes us, when someone points out a fault, we become displeased with that person. We get angry with that person, and our mind is made unhappy. This is because we, rather than focusing on the benefit of others, we still focus on our own welfare. And since the mind of enlightenment is that the force which opposes all faults, we should hold it in high esteem. And just having that high esteem to the mind of enlightenment is something that helps us to diminish the faults that we have and to accumulate a great amount of the collections.
아니 다지 남기타다냐면 심장 탐지기 체도 아니 깔리기하고 삼바 아니 탐지기 체도 아니 까도 간다지 용거 존나야 안 싸우니미 빼 아니 친데 메지 어삼비기 로드도 여인자 까도 가주 채바이나 가와마도 아니 껴와당 심발 소바 싸우니미 여삼마로스
So with the mind of enlightenment, you become determined to work hard for the sake of all sentient beings that extend to the reaches of space. Whatever hardship you're going to endure along the way, you're totally willing and committed to endure that, and you have joy in doing that. You have courage and determination to do that. You do not lose heart. You do not become discouraged when you're faced with difficulties.
만줄라면 주변 나눠라야 심지 리리체도 매ግ 나눠라야 까와 갸타 망볼라야 내가 존이야 자원이니 교여 말에 세죠 어디레스 디기 연된디 아니 찬주섬이야 된 거라서.
It's just like in the one of the verses in the Lamrim meditation in the Guru Puja speaks about not becoming daunted. Even if you have to remain for eons, for hundreds of eons on end, in a burning hell for the sake of each and every sentient being, you're still not going to lose heart. You're not going to be daunted. So this is the quality of bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment.
어디래 든다 저어디 나눠라야 자가라래 다 잔주기 셈니 곰발람 베버식디스 셈니레도 셈니레도 니레도 니야 다 조디 셈니 여비나니 조 지당 아니 잔주기 셈이야 넘버 2 시온디 베나 프레젠탄디 넘버 2디 군주 잔주기 셈다 된돈 잔주기 셈스 남기안 카우칼이야 잔주 셈 니슬라온디 아니 문주기 셈니스 이네 깜디 니디 된돈 잔주기 셈다 군주 잔주기 셈 니나니 조 군주 잔주기 셈디 송고레스라.
Let's look at a commentary. So we looked at the last 3 lines in verse 6, and powerful negativity, dreadful. How can this be overcome by other virtue that is not the mind of enlightenment? It is appropriate to meditate on the 2 bodhicittas. So what are the 2 bodhicittas? Well, here it is likely to refer to the conventional mind of enlightenment and the ultimate mind of enlightenment. Since here, the author of the commentary, Geshe Rinchen, doesn't mention the 2 explicitly, it's good to mention that also there is another 2-fold enumeration of the mind of enlightenment, the aspiring mind of enlightenment and the engaging mind of enlightenment, right? So you can count the mind of enlightenment as 2 as according to that, or according to conventional and ultimate. Here, Geshe reckons that we refer to the ultimate mind of enlightenment, to the conventional mind of enlightenment.
Chanchu semyi gomba lambeba rikde nyawi gyola sobi digo miseba teni zobi chanchu ki semamba geshe kangi kya siji nemba ngyote kangi kya siji nemba minibi shalos tendam semji ki dribi sabin pombe niba yoba dir sheji tso mayin kis re kamdi tendam semji tso sheji yoba mayin ki dani kunzu semji ki ngandri gyo kasa dache chima gyunchiba chibi peyo tendos.
It is appropriate to meditate on the 2 bodhicittas because how could this dreadful negativity, that is the cause of the lower realms, be overcome by any other virtue that is not the mind striving for complete enlightenment? It cannot. This does not relate primarily to the ultimate bodhicitta that can abandon the seed of the obscurations. Rather, it shows mainly the benefit of conventional bodhicitta purifying the earlier accumulated causes for the lower realms, as well as cutting the continuity of latter ones.
Terida niba ro ta diba chimbu jom niba gi gunzen chi dordi chi sonsa ta dewa chok driv ni shivi dewa chok di samjan tamchi gi leya pendi trin tungin di zob sanji ji kombandrawas ro sanji ji kombandrawas tinza dewa chok di and telai koko gores ta sanji komban dela driv ningi and gewadi and chanju sem konaris.
We've covered the first point in the 3-point outline that explains the benefit of bodhicitta. So we covered a section that explained the benefit in terms of destroying great negativity. And then the second point is it can make supreme happiness a reality. So when it has the power to establish supreme happiness, we think about the supreme happiness of the state of Buddhahood, a state in which you'd be able to be of benefit and joy to oneself and all other sentient beings. So the mind of enlightenment has the ability to bring about, to establish the state of Buddhahood. Only bodhicitta has the ability to give you the state of enlightenment or the state of Buddha in an easy way, in an easy manner. So then thinking of things that we put into practice, the steps of the path of beings from the 3 scopes, the small, the medium, and great. Developing the determination to live cyclic existence, the view that realizes selflessness, the 3 trainings, the 6 perfections, and so forth. If those practices are not motivated by the mind of enlightenment, they are not qualified by bodhicitta, they will not act as causes for the state of enlightenment. So Chris is saying, I do not quite understand the difference between aspiring or conventional bodhicitta and engaging or ultimate bodhicitta.
Sorry.
Christopher. Kan man kika förstå? Kan man kika förstå? So, forgot to
Okay.
Dila munjuk kasa dila consultant. Sorry. Consultant tentan janjugi santa munjuk dini la kabakari yomesh gotugi mindusa. 하고 민두스.
다 된동 잔주기 셈스라운드 조 돈ning 모순 더비 이시디 라 잔주기 셈기 셈 돈ning 모순 더비 이시데라 된동 잔주기 셈기 민다고 그랬어. 라다 민주스라운드 간주지 아니 비기 셈 계단 톤 다딩 간주 제래 아니 십 사고진 이용 그랬어.
Well, the sorry, I'm in a silly mood today. So, the ultimate man of enlightenment is a perception. It's a perceptual realization of emptiness, right? So the ultimate man of enlightenment is a perceptual realization of emptiness. Whereas so far we spoke of the conventional mind of enlightenment. Now we will speak later on of the differences between the aspiring and engaging mind of enlightenment. So it will become clearer later on. Anyway, you might be wondering what's happening here. Why am I laughing? You know, it was something about the conversation with Geshe and myself that is probably not to be translated at the moment, but you know, so it's hard to understand that if you don't understand Tibetan.
Oh, did it? What's that? Tinza benang anzugi and sejig luchilaya ningtong gitsit any kasota any setong chiglaya any sangi combat dream tungi pigi nyamni imbainea injiminji chanju sem tengo gores ra chanju sem mena chanju sem masena di any tebachi bichu pigi 상을 냠는 파자는 대부분 비추 대한 지금 넘버 산지 비추 틀이야 수교에 대성 가는 차로 버렸어.
If you practice a certain Buddhist practice that enables you to attain the state of Buddhahood in one lifetime, based upon one body, right, in our short lifetime, without the mind of enlightenment, your practice will not be able to get you to the state of enlightenment, to the state of Buddha in one short lifetime, in one body. It is impossible to do that without the mind of enlightenment. Let alone mantra practice, also what you practice will not be counted as Mahayana Dhamma practice without the mind of enlightenment. It wouldn't be the Buddha's Mahayana Dhamma practice without the mind of enlightenment.
That any Zao Koranaloya Kawatuma Ragon Zebai Tonam in the new Pembersi. Din Semi give you Sonamki, Denjo Delanu the Tober chess. Or the Zawarada.
So then, looking at verse 7, it says, the powerful able ones who have contemplated this for eons say this alone is beneficial. To read the immeasurable number of beings easily accomplishes supreme happiness.
That did the Kawa Tuma Ragon Zeba in Soyandi and that Jadang any Kaso Taji Tuan Namgi any Kotula Gongomba Kingemba Kawa Tumanaya Chi any Konje Nangoyazda 기요마로 기진 남바이나요. 아니 딜 하지 아니 조베 산지 남기 비기 에 제반 남바이나요. 딜 하지 다 니에요 마레스 시게요 마레스 인자 디 이게 아니 잔주고 셈디 아니 지 아니 끼워 셈해봐 남기 타던 연비기 끼워 초 남기 아니 에 데비 초디 델라도 터버 치투 그랬어.
So this verse says, all the laws of the subduers who have contemplated for many eons have seen it to be beneficial. So all the laws of subduers, which means all the munis, all the Buddhas in the past have seen this to be so beneficial. In that sense, they've seen this to be the most beneficial. Nothing else surpasses the man of enlightenment in terms of the benefit that it gives you, in terms of easily giving you the state of Buddhahood. So in that sense, the man of enlightenment is the best means that we can use in order to attain a state which is for the sake of all sentient beings.
잔주기 셈 공부는 배버릭데스 딘자 당 안주기야 직 남주께 여바다 안줄래야 직 아니 존주줘야 리버지나 배버지야 리버지나 배버 탐체로 초직이야 아니 domchini 아니 베사디 아니 잔주 셈 공에 디리스 델이야 제고 그랬어 까와 참메 두말 심전한 펜방 탑라 랍도 공시 셈브른제빈 통한 남기 잔주 셈 개번 등이 심전한 펜바 식시 셈 개번 되네 심전 셈이 개번 소남기 대원 촉 tam barwala sobe kachel teba meba lam devi deladu tober chenibi seven tabi images.
It is appropriate to strive to meditate on bodhicitta. If you're smart about your practice, you practice bodhicitta, the man of enlightenment, with great effort. Your effort becomes so focused, like a single-pointed, single-focus practice in cultivating bodhicitta, because the able ones, the munis, who taught deeply for many countless eons about what is beneficial for sentient beings, and the method with which to achieve that benefit, see only this mind generation for enlightenment as beneficial. This very bodhicitta is the seed with which the immeasurable number of sentient beings can easily and happily, independently of austerities such as tearing out one's hair and so forth, accomplish the purpose of happiness, the supreme happiness.
Then Devon draw the same sushi kindu curse long she chavataros. Till the kanji and sanji san drondingi, Simjan Tamjelia, Pendit Dunginski, Ra Suzuki, Ludendi Tolaya, Tamjela Pendi Tuyagi, and Bezunchina, Niva Yoinza, Niva Dipe, and Yons Zovan, Dungingi, Kiushigi, and Namju Yungi, Sam Shi, Sushik, Namjo de Dembi, Kiuchigi, Delia, to Kamachigina, Chinden Zaunini, Kayan Zaunini Machivachini, and Drogres, Giluk Zaunin Chigmaras.
As it is said, going from happiness to happiness, knowing the mind, who will be lazy? So if you know that it can lead you to a Buddha ground, that it can give you and others benefit and joy, it has the potential to do it, then if you're smart about the way that you do it, you will come to possess the mind of enlightenment. You will not procrastinate. You will not cast this aside. You will not become relaxed. You will be totally enthused to continuously train in the mind of enlightenment.
that's somebody children do be turn driven libanes. Ra susu gi samanashi gi any dodin druguyana. Chanju sem gongo res. Chanju sem la ya bezun chigo res. Ra chanju sem la ya chanju sem rumbuche de la ya be yimpu sam keba ina ya ani kawa mambu ge and diva thadro ya da ani sonum so labachi sa do res da ani da choji jawa se da chiba be ani yongda ro je do asra.
So we covered so far 2 points that explain the benefits of the mind of enlightenment. Now the third point is it has the ability to accomplish whatever you wish for, one's wishes. So we have certain aspirations, we have things that we wish for, and the mind of enlightenment has the potential to make them come true. Through that, you can accumulate negativities, you can accumulate the accumulations. It is widely renowned amongst the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions. Looking at this verse, it says, thus wishing to eliminate the hundredfold suffering of existence, wishing to clear the unhappiness of sentient beings, and wanting to enjoy many hundredfold happinesses, should never give up the mind of enlightenment.
Sigvi dongan gata shom de jing kewu chimbi samba jambi simjen tamji gi medewa sawar de bata ngonto dang ngili gi deman gata chobon de bikya tab chodu kiwa chanju sem de shemebe chanju sem ye kebar chashi tu tawdu ani kadduino ani taning mares minyabar chawos.
The commentary to this section says, it is appropriate to meditate on bodhicitta since it is the supreme method for accomplishing the purpose of self and others. Having trained in the motivation for the medium-capable being who wishes to destroy the hundredfold sufferings of existence in one's own continuum, and having trained in the motivation of the great capable being, being one wishes to clear the unhappiness of all sentient beings. Regardless of whether one wishes to enjoy the hundredfold happiness of higher status of definite goodness, there is no better method. One should generate bodhicitta alone and never give it up or let it degenerate.
That means that ten cabarje tobas. Mean that ten cabarje toba. Tanganzugu jitang namyu ji ani pomo ewa meba, riru ewa meba, uchu ewa meba, tamchelo sunda jigimba inaya, ani chanchuk sem kizam yini, ani min cabarje, ten cabarje, tamchigi yimiti sagi yug, tamchigi chat, javi wus kudogores, kebatsao yini yomaris taro.
Now let's look at where we are at the text. So we've covered 3 points that came under the section of explaining the benefits of bodhicitta. Now we're going to look at identifying, we looked at the 3 points in relation to it has the power to destroy all negativity and accomplish all virtues. And then the second point is one will become special in name and meaning. All right, so that's covered by verse number 9. So regardless of your gender, right? Regardless of your gender, regardless of your race or ethnic group, regardless of how wealthy you are or powerful you are, if you become a bodhisattva, you become an object of worship, an object that people pay homage to, regardless of who you are. Everyone will hold you in high esteem.
Pena janju semkin gyurna, semkin gyurna, kichi kis, tema tautu segoda, koyu zongra dambi nyamta nam, deshe nam ki seshi josashin. Pena daji, koyu nela ya, ji nyamta simje, namgyu jik, jik, tanganzu jikten yongda la ya, jik, nyamta wo. 아니 지 엄풍 딘지 임바는 다지 아니 메칸가게 파지 인지께서 요도지 마도베게 지 구사다 쯔사조리 쯔고 말았어 다 잔주 셈니 베 깨점이니 딘지 임바이나 베 탐지기 아니 차세사게 요 이미쇼사게 요 견도거레스
It says, should one generate bodhicitta, then in one instant are those pitiful ones bound in the prison of cyclic existence referred to as the children of the Tathagatas. So the moment a bodhicitta arises, at that very moment, the person arising, giving rise to bodhicitta would be an object of veneration by others. So if you think of finding yourself in a samsaric state in which your state is completely dismal, you're impoverished, completely bereft of necessities. It is probably a state in which many other people will not really pay attention to you or will not really take you into consideration. And yet, even in that state, the moment bodhicitta arises in your mind, you'll become an object of worship for others.
민디야 대마타도 톱죠 거리스
Not only that, it also says you will also become the object of prostration. Sorry, you're referred to as the children of the Tathagatas, an heir to a Buddha, and become an object of prostration for worldly gods and humans.
직된 함을집이 찾아주스 다 직된 바다 임바 베는 예랑 전주 선발로 쏘고 임바 다 베나 아니 직 산게 파바 순제네 베 아니 차 치사가 율 교조그레스 전주 대화되는 딜송다 간스나 잔주 샘디 아니 tumba sanji 좀 된데 ngombo zoba sangi야디 아니 잔주고 셈을 못 칠때 때는 ngombo zoba sangi인자 아니 잔주고 셈디 tumba sanji 좀 된데 이게 아니 라마 kir바레스 라다 랑기 자위 라마 강도 여바 텔야 아니 차 제야디 아니 가서다 아니 이거 지당 로당으로 왔어 진짜 산기 있는 베디 아니 차체서 유려야 견적요레스
When it says that you will become special in name and method and become an object of worship, it says it is appropriate to strive in generating bodhicitta, because once one has generated the wishing or engaging bodhicitta, one will instantaneously attain the distinguished name, child of the Tathagatas, as well as the meaning of the name indicates. One will become an object of prostrations for worldly gods and humans. So when it is said that one will become an object of prostrations for worldly gods and humans, not only you become an object of homage or prostration for gods, but also hears and solitary realizes, bodhisattvas abiding on the great grounds. You'll even become an object of worship by Buddhas. So once you develop the mind of enlightenment, even Buddhas will prostrate to you. That indicates that the cause for a Buddha is the mind of enlightenment. So if a Buddha pays homage to someone, they will pay homage to that which, without that, they would not have become Buddha. That is what is responsible for their becoming of a Buddha. So if you think of, for example, making prostrations to something or someone, then we normally, make prostrations to a root lama, in holding a root lama in high esteem, right? So you could say that for Buddhas, bodhicitta become like the lama that one make prostrations to. It depends upon which these Buddhas have become Buddhas. So this section says, it is not only the Bodhisattvas that have entered the great grounds that have these qualities, but also the pitiful ones bound to the prison of cyclic existence by the afflictions and karma attain these benefits immediately after generating bodhicitta. Did I miss? No, I didn't miss anything from the reading. Okay.
There that in the member the Jubi, Chanjuki Semsland, Tam Hinjuki Semiso, Sam Kevan Jona, Tamatabi, Kejiki, Min Kabarchi, Devasheva Namgi Seshi, Jobar Chashi, Mingi Tuen Kabarchin, Jigdembar, Tam, Tada Milchibi, Temo Jovatan, Chajavi, Niskubi Cheros. Sachembolo Shubi Chanju Sambanam, Bashik Yundet in the Demo Mahindi, Leningi Wangi, Kovi Zona Dambi, Nyamta, but Namhika. Semkena tematado period to bichers. Manzo Jazzy Chanju Sambas Land in Jimmy Satombolaya and the Pepsa Yoda and Dinjigi Ingo Yomaris. And in COVID Zone Ranamaya, Nedingi, and Soji Chanju Samba Swing by now. Chibar is Sami Chacha Rescue Varis.
In reading through the commentary again, it says, it is appropriate to strive in generating bodhicitta, because once one has generated the wishing or engaging bodhicitta, one will instantaneously attain the distinguished name, child of the Tathagatas. And as the meaning of the name indicates, one will become an object of prostration for worldly gods and humans. It is not only the bodhisattvas that have entered the great grounds that have these qualities, but also the pitiful ones bound to the prison of cyclic existence by afflictions and karma attain these benefits immediately after generating bodhicitta. So sometimes we speak of Arya Bodhisattvas that abide on the great grounds, right? So we treat them as we take them to be objects of worship. We make prostrations to them. But once the mind of enlightenment is generated, not only they become an object of worship, but also ordinary bodhisattvas that haven't achieved the higher ground yet. Even those ordinary bodhisattvas that are caught in the prison of cyclic existence under the power of karma and afflictions, even they become an object of worship, an object of prostration.
That pay be about the truth. Sumba pay be about the truth. Member told give you pay. Rataji, the conditions but that member told the cure was lonely. Namju Nyam Tawajin by Naya, Chanju Sem Givana, Chot Kurdores. Ni Kasha Ranchi Bay. Devil message in Pevery Bay, Jigba Chimboli give me Bay. Digba sick never jump Bay. Pay and dolly them solo tambo, member Chot give Benes. Single say number Chot Tower, Mazan Lund Lani Garuko. Rinjan Randam Meva. Gurina, Chanchu Semshi Chava, Rabden Sons.
Now, the next section is demonstrating the benefits of bodhicitta using analogies. Let's look at this section. It says, explaining the benefit with examples. Actually, we speak here of analogies that illustrate how bodhicitta is beneficial. So there are 6 such analogies. Example or analogy for how the lesser becomes supreme, right, in showing the supremacy of bodhicitta. Example for its rarity and preciousness. Example for the unending and increasing result. Example or analogy for the ability to reduce from great danger, to rescue from great danger. And example of how it destroys negativity effortlessly. How the benefits are explained in sutras.
There is that Ambudi. This one, 생규제 넘버 쳤다고서 먼저 짝도 진바이너로 짝 탑자 진바이너 아니 생규 그즈 땅의 상원디 아니 다 셀다고 규치니 아니人当 전지 즈고야 차로 나신기 나란 쪽이 단단 매장위기 직 아니 샤르 아니 차송 그 추비기 아니 류람이 땐디 아니 찬주 생고 또기 아니 귤체니 아니 셈비기비 아니 상기 있고 귤로야 돼 아니 찬주 생고 또기레스
Now, in looking at the first analogy that illustrates how the lesser becomes supreme, it says, it is like the supreme elixir that makes gold, having taken this impure body, transforms it into the priceless, precious body of a conqueror. Hence, strongly hold that cold mind of enlightenment. So, thinking of this analogy of an elixir, suppose that you would have a lamp of iron in your hand, and there would be that elixir that could make that lamp of iron become gold. You would hold that elixir to be something that is so precious to you, so special. It has the ability to transform a piece of metal into a piece of priceless gold. So, in the same way, the mind of enlightenment has the ability to transform this body, which is a body that is made of flesh and blood and bones, into a Buddha body. So the mind of enlightenment is just like this elixir that can make the lesser become supreme.
terda dinza ani chanju sem de keni ani ke tsam chigi ani shasha mayimba tu ta do sung ko yagi kichi shu chagorwas ra chanju sem shi chawa ra den sung.
So therefore, once you develop bodhicitta, don't just leave it like that. Continuously guard your bodhicitta. As it says in this verse, hence strongly hold that called mind of enlightenment.
Then penyu dada samni kyang chanju gi sem shi chawa lani minyan bar tu tembar sungshi sungshi de sungwar chadi sengyu zi nambin chok sengyu gi zi sangji gi chak sang tong sel ki gyur nipa tawa gyur da ngungun kone kyang mizangwe lundi lani tenyi gyawe ku rinchan rindang meba sem tenyi gi gyuwe na wos dongbo ko bale murchu rik sedu nangwa shishawa sangji gi chak sang tong gyur nipa perin zene semgi gi penyu somba dordu tsuti chaba yins dordu wos.
Let's read through the commentary of verse 10. Upon having contemplated these benefits and generated that called the mind of enlightenment, one should hold on to it firmly. Just like one sang of supreme gold transforming elixir can transform 1,000 sang. Sang is like a measure of weight in Tibet. So it can transform 1,000 sang of iron into gold. This mind can transform this body that one has taken, impure both from the point of view of cause and nature, into the priceless, precious body of a Buddha, of a conqueror.
Tanya kasher danchi penis. Joy debun chibu semi lebar yus tama rinchewe joy nedan travel debana rinjin chanju semle tembur songs.
It was a quotation from the flower array. It sums up the benefits of bodhicitta with the analogy. One sango, this unit of weight, one sang of mercury, which appears as gold, can transform 1,000 sang of iron into gold. There you go. So then the second analogy is for the rarity and the preciousness, for its rarity and preciousness. It is very precious since the sole captain of migrators investigated well with immeasurable awareness. Those that wish to free from the place of migration should hold well on to the precious bodhicitta.
제단 드윈니 단 코윈니 아니 코위 고바탐제 고바타다다 저월데바 남기 코윈니리다 저월데바 남기 rumbuchi ongi gyabutavu rinjin chanjugi sem lebar kini minyambar tembar zonga chadiyas debin kibi tsomba nam rumbuchi nindu chikbatar dravi debin dammebi chikbu sangi ani chi pigi tsemebi kiu löte tsemebi lödru 강랑가와 티 로이 오아세비 탑초 강인 레버 용수 따나 아니 찬주기 셈 딩이레스 이제 딩이 린체위 때 끔바다 편도체위 탑수스비체로스
The commentary to this verse says, those that wish to be free from the faults of cyclic existence, the place of migrators, should hold well onto the precious bodhicitta and protect it from degenerating like a powerful king of jewel. Like the skillful captain who brought the merchants to the jewel land, the unequal sole captain of migrators, the Buddha, the one that there is no, the peerless teacher, with his immeasurable wisdom awareness, investigated thoroughly what the best method may be to eliminate the poverty of migrators. And so that only bodhicitta was that precious, meaning rare and extremely beneficial method.
제우 메시지 페르베 셈 디 아니 게비 셈 아니 찬주고 셈 디께 투바이나 디기 제부 아니 게비 로토디 아니 귐메체바 중거리스 딱 게와셴다 드락만 순거라 귐메체바 중거리스 베너스 게와셴쿠 추시셴도니 제부끼니 세번 교원이 찬주 셈기 준신 딱 버려 제번 짐비 메세페원 주스.
So remember that in this section, Shantideva illustrates the benefits of bodhicitta using examples or analogies. So the next analogy explains how using the mind of enlightenment, you can increase a certain result to be unlimited, to be inexhaustible. So the example or analogy for the unending and increasing result is all other virtues similar to the plantain tree are exhausted upon bearing fruit. Since the fruit tree of bodhicitta constantly bears fruits, it does not exhaust, it increases. It is also appropriate for those that wish for unceasing and increasing virtue to meditate on bodhicitta. Virtues that are not held by bodhicitta are like the plantain tree whose ability to produce a fruit is exhausted after it produces one. On the other hand, the fruit tree of bodhicitta produces fruits unceasingly, like the wish-fulfilling field, and increases further and further.
아니 전신에 빼자니 아니 추신디 고 제부직 따서 제라 근데 고 짜오 감도서로 어딘나신기지 타바찬된다 어딘디기지 게세릭디 아코기 비기다 제부디 미니 딜레지 균투는 로샤스키 용구요서마로 찬주 샘디 kumiyu koran ani simjan tamje lame zoshanji kongmala yangu bichad ani lana mebi yandaba zobe sanji komondongi lojinza di seondi ani lana mebi sanji komon mato bardo ani jebi gymachadi yungu yores.
The analogy that is used here in this section speaks of a plantain tree, or this tree that bears fruit and then the root dries out or dries up, right? So there are those type of tree that once they produce the fruit, they dry up, the root dries up. The mind of enlightenment is said to be not like that, not like this type of trees. It bears fruit and it continues to do so unendingly. So you have other virtues that produce their own results and then they go out of existence, they're exhausted. Those virtues are, for example, those which are included with what we call compatible with liberation. In a sense that those virtues that are compatible with liberation are extinguished once they produce the results, the fruit. But the virtues created by the mind of enlightenment are not like that, because the mind of enlightenment intends to set all sentient beings in a state of complete and perfect highest enlightenment. And so long as sentient beings are not delivered to that state, the fruit or the result of the mind of enlightenment will still continue to operate.
So, give a message in pure David. Chanjuki sem gomba rite. Chanjuki sem ki masimbi gewashi shen kons chushi shendune drevekene layan drevekebe neba seven gewani ina. Pasum yi shin shendu chanjuki sem ki jonshin takparayan dreven jimbe message kone kondu pure gibi cher lodri mesivi tembi dole. Gyamso chambo longwi. Chu tiwaji gyamso chambo nanduta 사바이나 아니 gamsu chudan jeondige 아니 gamsu chud magambad 아니 chu tibadi 아니 konne degoras dinansingi 아니 gewadi chanchu sembi tobki zobe chanjulaya otobaina 아니 zobe sanji kongo mato bardu 아니 gewadige jeb jonjon bares kawe pardo meseba siendo chanju dungowi gewaya chanju nyembola tugi pardo meseba sonsos.
In the commentary, it says it is also appropriate for those that wish for unceasing and increasing virtue to meditate on bodhicitta. Virtues that are held by bodhicitta are like the plantain tree whose ability to produce a fruit is exhausted after it produces one. On the other hand, the fruit tree of bodhicitta produces fruits unceasingly, like the wish-fulfilling field or wish-fulfilling tree, and even increases further and further. For the sutra shown by inexhaustible wisdom, it says, just as a drop of water that falls into the ocean abides until the end of the aeon, the virtue that is dedicated for enlightenment remains until the essence of enlightenment is fulfilled. It does not cease. So virtues that are created by the mind of enlightenment are created with the motivation to attain the state of enlightenment. So until the state of enlightenment is accomplished for that long, the fruit will still continue to abide or to be produced. So thank you, Shia. We'll leave it here for now.
Sanjoramboji Maji Banuji Guruji Gyawa Nyamba Mebayang Koni Kondu Tewar Shu Yuzuda Lama Sanji Rugirni Drawa Chikyam Maluva Tiye Salango Vara Shu Komi Shengamsu Pendan Dewa Malun Zhongwini Jere Zewa Denzi Gyangzoye Shabi Sindi Bardu Tenkiruji Chen Jangun Gyawe Tenzin Jompewe Ngunzu Lubuzi Chosung Goyele Rugyu Anda Sudu Jingundu Shabden Shu. Thank you. See you next week.
See you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nyingi loga mara.
All right. So see you next week. I'll see you tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Keep me. Thank you.
Mouse.
Sorry?
I have a remote mouse. You know what I mean?
Like without a cable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would that be any help to you?
I have one at home. I kind of got used to this. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
See you
you.
soon.